What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Gage. Welcome to the channel. Today, I am excited to show off my new Armed Dragon deck profile from the 2005 GOAT format. This is just a fun deck that I've been playing around with that I have been enjoying, and so I wanted to be able to kind of show it off and discuss some of the strategies for a, in my opinion, underplayed strategy in GOAT format. So if you're fans of content like this, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm very close to 500 subscribers, which is exciting. So I appreciate all the support that I've been getting. And without further ado, we'll just hop right into it. So guys, the namesake of the deck is Armed Dragon level 5. Just honestly a very solid boss monster that this deck has at its disposal. It is a level 5 monster that has 2400 attack, 1700 defense. That reads, send one monster card from your hand to the graveyard to destroy one face-up monster on your opponent's side of the field with an attack equal to or less than the attack of the sent monster. And during the end phase of this turn that it destroyed a monster as a result of battle, then you would be able to send this to the grave to special summon the level 7 variant, which I am foregoing in this particular build just because I want to make the deck as consistent as possible. And one of the big reasons is of not playing level 7 is just because of the fact that since it has to be special summoned off of the level up effect, and the level 5, you are able to tribute to get into it. So even if you end up drawing into it, it's not a dead card, and we're playing other cards to help mitigate that as well. And so what you really want to do is play as many cards in the deck, as many monsters in the deck to get his ability off that will more than likely see the field. So I am playing a lot of monsters that go up to 1900 attack, for example, and that is a very relevant stat line. It's able to hit over pretty much most of the prominent normal summons in GOAT format. The fact that he's 2400 attack means that he can crash with Monarchs, he can crash, he can actually beat over Chaos Sorcerer, which is a very popular monster, and realistically, you could also pitch himself to destroy a monster that has 2400 or less. So honestly, that's going to hit most things in the format. And the only thing it's not hitting is Blackluster Soldier, but we are playing other cards in the deck to help mitigate against that monster. But we're playing a very aggressive strategy, and the fact that this is special summonable off of the level 3 means that it's going to be pretty consistent that you get into him, and it means that your opponent would have probably already taken a little bit of damage up until this point. So we're hitting hard with some very strong dragon monsters. This is a dragon-themed deck, so yeah, Armed Dragon level 5 is certainly the reason to play it, and you'll be hearing me discuss this card throughout the video as I talk about some of the other cards that I play. So obviously, I am playing the Armed Dragon level 3. This has the ability where during the standby phase, send this face-up card to the graveyard to special summon an Armed Dragon level 5 from the hand or deck. So pretty straightforward. Pretty much as long as he survives a turn and he makes it to your next standby phase, you could just send him to get this from the hand or the deck. So what's nice is that even if you do just so happen to draw into them, you have the ability to special summon it off of the level 3 without using your tribute summon to get into him. But most of the time, as long as there's at least one in the deck, you're going to want to just get the free special from the deck. The Armed Dragon level 3 is also special summonable off of the Mass Dragon, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So you will be able to pretty consistently get into the Armed Dragon level 3. It's also searchable off of the Sangan if you really wanted to search it that way. So yeah, more likely than not, you will be able to get into the Armed Dragon level 3. Honestly, its stats are nothing to write home about, which is why we are playing a bunch of spells and traps to help ensure that our Armed Dragon here stays alive. But overall, just a flexible card, and the fact that all you really need to do is survive a turn, which, yeah, there's going to be times where your opponent doesn't draw into a monster, or they don't draw into a way to be able to, get rid of them. So, either your opponent is going to start burning resources early just to be able to get rid of this, or they'll just wait to deal with the level 5 once it comes out. Either way, being able to thin the deck by special summoning a monster from the deck means that you're less likely to draw into it, which you really don't want to have to draw into the level 5 if you could just get it for free from the deck, right? So, yeah, that's enough of the Armed Dragon level 3. Just a good card. I'm also playing 3 copies of Spear Dragon, so this is a dragon-based build. I want to be able to play as many dragon monsters that have a high attack stat as possible. This also has the ability to do piercing, so it does end up changing to defense position at the once it attacks. So we are playing a bunch of defensive cards to ensure that we get our attack in, we go to defense. Our opponent is probably going to be pressured to try and attack it to get rid of it, and then we hit them with a trap or a spell card to be able to stop them, to then just be able to put this back into attack position on the following turn and continuing to get big damage. So 1900 is also great, so that if you have to send it off of your Armed Dragon level 5's effect, then you have a pretty wide margin to be able to work with, because 1900 is a big stat line. So you're going to be hitting mostly everything in the format. I'm also playing 3 copies of Luster Dragon, so just a 1900 beat stick. Again, playing as many dragons because it's a dragon-based strategy, but also because the 1900 is good for the level 5's effect. So similar to the Spear Dragon, while it doesn't have piercing or anything like that, at least this one is more consistent damage because of the fact that you know that you will be able to attack and still have not necessarily put to defense. So the Spear Dragon is good in that it has the utility of doing piercing, whereas the Luster Dragon doesn't have the downside of having to be put to defense position once it attacks. So they're both good in their own right. But again, you want to play as many that you can send off of level 5 to be able to clear monsters. You're going to be catching a lot of stray Gravekeeper Spies, plenty of monsters that are within the threshold to kill off of the level 5. So, as I alluded to earlier, we are playing 3 copies of Mass Dragon. Not only can it tutor into itself, because when it's destroyed by battle and sent to the grave, you can special summon a dragon-type monster with 1500 less attack from the deck. So, most of the time, that is going to either be itself if you see that other attacks are going to be coming, but that's how you're going to be able to tutor into your level 3. Additionally, we are playing a copy of Twin-Headed Behemoth, which also fulfills a similar purpose to be special summoned off of the Mass Dragon. But this says that during the end phase, if it was destroyed on the field and sent to the graveyard this turn, so that is by either battle or card effect, you can special summon it from the graveyard and make its attack and defense 1000. You can only use that effect once per duel, though, so that's why we're only using the one, and because it has utility off of being special summoned off of the Mass Dragon and added off of Sangan, that was more than enough to be able to at least play it at 1, especially since it helps you for setting up for your Armed Dragon level 5, because if someone kills it, then it is just going to end up coming back for free, and then you could just use it as tribute fodder for your level 5. So pretty straightforward. As I've mentioned a few times in the video, Sangan, just one of the best monsters to help search other monsters in the deck that we have at our disposal. And I am just teching 1 copy of Breaker the Magical Warrior. I know I said it's dragon-based, but honestly, this card is just such a staple in this format. Being able to get the counter, go to 1900 attack, and if you choose, you can remove the counter to destroy a spell or trap. Just honestly a very flexible and powerful card, and that is why I'm still playing 1 copy even in this deck. So, if you really want to keep it pure, you can cut out things like the Sangan and things like that, right? But, you still want to be able to play it as optimally as you can. So that's it for the monsters. I'm playing 2 copies of Enemy Controller, so you can already kind of see where this is going. Monsters like the Spear Dragon that you want to protect after it's gone to defense position, as well as your Armed Dragon. You want to be able to play as many cards that help to save and prevent your opponent's monsters from being able to attack into you. So Enemy Controller is nice because if something tries to attack into either of these, you can use the Enemy Controller to target a face-up monster your opponent controls and change its battle position so that it goes to defense, saving your monster. And, of course, because we're playing the level 5, it has the secondary ability where you could tribute a monster, target a face-up monster your opponent controls, and take control of it. You can do whatever you want with that. So you can actually just steal your opponent's monster in a pinch and go ahead and just tribute it into your level 5. So the deck flows really nicely, and I think that Enemy Controller is a big contributor to actually helping the deck function. There are plenty of times where maybe your opponent is trying to, stall out behind things like, a Gravekeeper Spy that you've already attacked into, or that they special summoned and switch to defense, being able to turn it so that it can go into attack position to make it so that your monsters, like your Luster Dragons and your Spear Dragons, can actually hit into it, is actually really nice. So, Enemy Controller, very flexible, very powerful in this build specifically. I'm also playing 2 copies of Book of Moon, which is just a fantastic card all around. You could use it defensively, like I mentioned, to be able to put your opponent's monsters into face-down defense position if they do try attacking one of your monsters that you really want to stick onto the field. And, of course, it being something that you can use to protect yourself. If you are attacking into something like a Mirror Force and you really want to keep one of your monsters, you could just book your own monster, and so that it's no longer in attack position. So honestly, Book of Moon is, I could go on and on about how versatile it is, and I think it is just one of the best cards in GOAT format for sure. I'm also playing 2 copies of Stamping Destruction. So like I mentioned, it's a dragon-based deck, so you want to be able to play as many dragon-type monsters as possible, and one of the biggest payoffs for that is having 2 extra copies of MST with a little bit of burn damage. It says you can target a spell, or if you control a dragon, target a spell or trap card on the field, destroy that target, and if you do, inflict 500 to your opponent. So that is really good. Having 2, MST is at 1 in this format, and Heavy Storm is at 1. So really the only other types of cards that you can use to get rid of your opponent's spells or traps are, discard traps like, Raigeki Break or Phoenix Wing or whatever the case may be, or Dust Tornado, which is fine. It's a fine card, but if you have an in-archetype one that is even more efficient because it burns your opponent, why not? We're an aggressive deck, as I've mentioned a few times already. We're doing a lot of damage, so even the small chip damage that they are getting from the 500 can end up proving in your favor and helping you get to victory. So 2 Stamping Destruction is certainly ideal. And of course, the usual suspects, we're playing Heavy Storm, Pot of Greed, Premature Burial. These are all just staples in the format. Having a special summon is rare in this format, so having something that you could end up using to bring back an armed dragon that was defeated. One of the reasons why this deck is so good is because no matter what, there's always going to be able to be a way for you to convert into your level 5. We love more cards, and we love getting rid of all the spells and traps on the field. And of course, we are playing the Graceful Charity, love drawing cards. We're playing Snatch Steal, pretty self-explanatory. But something we're also playing is the Nobleman of Crossout. So these are going to be for the moments where we are playing into a set spy, which most of the time the prominent decks are just setting spy nowadays. So this is nice to be able to clear that because we really don't want to end up one of the worst positions we can be in is swinging in with a Spear Dragon, flipping up your opponent's Gravekeeper Spy, and then being switched to defense, which is just a big neg. So we do still play the Nobleman of Crossout, and of course, because we are playing the Book of Moon, it does combo nicely with that because you can end up Book of Mooning your opponent's Black Luster Soldier, for example, and then banishing it off of the Crossout. So yeah, it's still just a really good card. Obviously, if we hit flip monsters, that's really cool. So if we hit our opponent's Magician of Fates and things of that nature, yeah, so I still love Nobleman in a deck like this. I'm also playing Mystical Space Typhoon. We already talked about how good Stamping Destruction is, so why not play as many copies of it as possible? Back row is at a premium in this format. And we have Swords of Revealing Light, essentially stalling for 3 turns, so that, again, the name of the game is protecting our monsters and doing as much damage to our opponent. Being able to preemptively flip your opponent's flip monsters is also a nice benefit, too. And that's it for the spells. I'm also playing 3 copies of Sakuretsu Armor. So are you guys getting the picture yet? The fact that we're playing as many cards that basically punish our opponent for attempting to kill us is going to be the name of the game. There's going to be plenty of situations where you swing with a Luster Dragon, your opponent tries to swing into you, and you're just like, all right, Sakuretsu Armor. Your monster is now gone. So you really play off of your opponent being impatient. And, if they don't end up having Mystical Space Typhoon or Heavy Storm or whatever, there's a good chance that they're going to end up hitting into it. And the usual suspects, we are playing the Great Equalizers in Torrential Tribute and Mirror Force. Again, ways to be able to kind of help bring the game in your favor. Things are getting a little too out of hand. And Call of the Haunted. Again, special summoning is just really nice. Sets up for your level 5s and things like that. I'm playing 1 Ring of Destruction just to be able to have a get out of jail free card if we already did do a lot of damage to our opponent, whether it was through the burning, the attacking, being able to finish the game nice and swiftly with Ring is something we always want access to. And the last tech that I'm choosing to play is Magic Cylinder, so I'm having a little fun with it, but it can come up. negating the attack of one of your opponent's monsters and inflicting that attack back to them might just be the damage that you needed to be able to close out the game. And, because they're not seeing it coming, it's more so just a nice option to be able to, again, protect your monsters that want to be protected and to be able to do as much damage to your opponent as possible. So guys, this was just a fun profile from an older format that I have been really enjoying playing. It's just a lot of fun, and it is one of the best formats, in my opinion, to be able to teach people about the game. And I love that it is still really back and forth in comparison to things like modern Yu-Gi-Oh, which, let's be real, we'll be lucky if we're making it past turn 2 or 3 nowadays, which, it has its own allure. There's plenty of reasons to love modern Yu-Gi-Oh, but you got to appreciate the good old days in actually having a classic game of Yu-Gi-Oh. So, guys, that's it for the profile. Thanks for sticking around up until this time. If you enjoyed it, please, please, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. As I mentioned, I am getting close to 500 subscribers, so it would be really nice to hit that milestone soon, and it encourages me to continue to make content like this. So appreciate all the time you've given, and until next time, GG.